They always told you the Grinch was just a bitter green creature hiding on a frozen mountain, hating Christmas for no reason. That's the public version, the sanitized one. But behind that harmless story lies something far darker. A creature with an origin soaked in rejection, psychological decay, and secrets the industry never wanted anyone to dig into. For decades, crucial parts of the original material were buried, rewritten, or simply ignored. Because the real Grinch is disturbing. Not goofy, not comedic, disturbing. So forget the holiday mascot. The truth behind the Grinch is stranger, heavier, and far more human than anything you've ever seen on screen. The unseen origin. The first Grinch wasn't green. The Grinch as we know him didn't appear out of nowhere in 1957. 2 years earlier, Dr. Seuss had already introduced a primitive version of the character in a forgotten poem titled The Whoville and the Grinch. There, the Grinch wasn't a creature. He was a cynical, manipulative, almost human figure, with no Christmas themes at all. The green fur? That came a decade later, in the 1966 TV adaptation, when director Chuck Jones decided to color the Grinch the same shade as his old car, a car he despised. Meaning, the visual identity of the Grinch was born from irritation, not imagination. Underneath everything, the Grinch's core was never fantasy. It was bitterness, sarcasm, and psychological exhaustion. The author's confession. The Grinch was Dr. Seuss himself. Years later, Seuss admitted something that changes the entire narrative. The Grinch wasn't just inspired by him. The Grinch was him. He said he looked in the mirror during Christmas season and realized he had become resentful, drained, and hostile toward the shallow holiday culture around him. So the Grinch didn't start as a villain. He started as a self-portrait of emotional burnout, a projection of a man disgusted with forced happiness and plastic cheer. Hollywood turned that internal collapse into a comedy, but the character's roots are painfully personal. Theory 1. The Grinch almost destroyed a whole civilization without knowing. Now things get unsettling. In Horton Hears a Who, also written by Seuss, Whoville lives on a microscopic speck of dust. To prove their existence and not be destroyed by larger beings, the Whos must constantly make noise. Noise, tak survival. So when the Grinch steals instruments, bells, and toys, he's not ruining Christmas. He's stripping Whoville of their only defense against annihilation. When they gather to sing afterward, the moment so often portrayed as magical, it's not joy, it's fear, their last desperate chance to stay alive. In this reading, the Grinch wasn't a villain. He was a catastrophe waiting to happen, a threat to an entire microscopic world without even realizing it. Theory 2. The Grinch was a failed Who experiment. Look closely at the physical similarities, the noses, the cheek structure, the mouth. The Grinch looks like a distorted version of a Who, one mutated, abandoned, and forced into exile. This theory suggests he might have been a biological mistake the Whos rejected at birth. And the live-action film adds fuel. The Grinch appears out of nowhere, in a basket, unlike all other babies that arrive through the normal Who system. A lone infant, unwanted, disposed of. That makes the Grinch less a monster and more a discarded experiment with heightened strength, abnormal physiology, and deep trauma. His rage becomes understandable. His isolation becomes tragic. Theory 3, Whoville has cult-like behavior. It sounds absurd until it doesn't. The Whos behave in ways that mirror ritualistic communities. Synchronized singing, strict social harmony, strange culinary traditions, and an obsessive, almost religious devotion to celebration. And then there's the roast beast, a strangely shaped dish suspiciously similar to the size and anatomy of the Whos themselves. Some argue Whoville may hide ritual cannibalism, and the Grinch flees because he knows exactly what they're capable of. Extreme? Yes. But Seuss designed Whoville to be unsettling beneath the cuteness. It was never meant to feel normal. What remains after the truth? When you strip away the marketing, the jokes, the green costumes, and all the holiday glitter, the truth left behind is uncomfortable. The Grinch was never the villain. He was a product of rejection, emotional collapse, and societal cruelty, a creature shaped by trauma and misunderstood from the beginning. Hollywood softened him. Merchandise trivialized him. But the original idea remains intact for anyone queasy enough to look. The Grinch wasn't created to destroy Christmas. He was created to expose everything broken behind it.